Did you know that roughly 1,000 people per day move to Florida, statistics are showing? And the statistics show that they're mainly coming from New York, California, New Jersey. But they're really coming from all over. And more specifically, Central Florida is receiving 1,000 people per week. And what's crazy is that 1,000 people per week have been moving to Central Florida, not just recently, but that statistic has held steady for the last 60 years. It's an amazing statistic. Hey, my name is Ivan Santiago. I am a realtor here in Central Florida, but more important than that, I'm a husband and I'm a father of 3 beautiful children. And in 2014, I was one of the 1,000 people that was moving to Central Florida. Moving to an unknown place can be pretty scary. Before I get into talking about the top 5 reasons why we chose St. Cloud when we made our move to Central Florida, I want to give you some backstory. So in 2007, I was working in the school district as a teacher for a few years. I approached my wife. I had always had a lifelong dream of doing music at a high professional level, and I wound up getting some contacts in the Nashville area. We wound up discussing what we should do, and we came to the conclusion that we should move. However, we didn't have any contacts on the local area to go ahead and talk to and kind of give us the ins and outs. So needless to say, we made a lot of plane trips and drive trips out to Nashville just to kind of find out from locals where were the cool areas to live in, what were the not cool areas, drive times, etc. And because we wanted new construction, we made a lot of appointments with new construction builders so that we could find the floor plan that suited us in the community that was in the area we wanted. So we settled on a floor plan and we found what we thought was our dream home. And eventually, I was able to do a lot of cool things that I had always dreamed of. I got to do nationwide tours, got to do some cool stuff with chart-topping artists like being on American Idol, and also the Jay Leno show before it was canceled. But all the meanwhile, my wife was dealing with health issues that no doctors could really pinpoint, and it got really frustrating. Eventually, they wound up diagnosing her years later with Lyme disease. But the journey to that was pretty frustrating, and at one point, we decided, hey, maybe I should come off the road and stop doing the touring thing and be home, not only to help her, but to help with our new to-be born son. And when that son, our firstborn, was 2 years old, it had gotten to a point where it was so frustrating that I said, something has to change. Something has to change for the betterment of my wife's health. So one morning I woke up and I said, hey, honey, what do you think about moving to Florida? And she looked at me like, are you crazy? But considering everything we had been through, we had lived in Florida prior, and there were certain things that were known to us to give her emotional health, mental health, and it's the fact that she always dreamed of living in a tropical environment. She loved palm trees, she loved the warm sun. We made eventually the decision to move back to Florida, and we chose to go to Central Florida because we knew it pretty well. But the hard part was, where are we going to move to in Central Florida? So now, talking about Florida in general, we know that a lot of people choose to move here because of the warm climate. People get tired of the snow, all of that. But the same question is that we dealt with is the question that a lot of people deal with is, where do I move to? I get that a lot as a realtor. So here are our top 5 reasons why we chose St. Cloud. Number 1 was cost of living. To live in St. Cloud, the cost of homes relative to other areas in Central Florida, it's pretty affordable. It's not the cheapest, but it's definitely not the most expensive. And when you're looking at taxes in Osceola County are definitely less than some of the neighboring counties, Orange County, and other counties that you would find, Seminole County. They have higher tax rates. So this was a large part of what we decided when we were deciding to make our move. We wanted to make sure we met a monthly budget, especially considering that my wife wasn't working at the time and we were on a single fixed income. The second one, we are not the kind of people that like a lot of hustle and bustle. So number two, less traffic, less hustle. St. Cloud at the time was known, their little motto was celebrating small town life. And while things have definitely changed, it's not the small town that it used to be years ago. It still has some of that, it retains some of that feel of sense of community. There is definitely less traffic compared to other areas. You just have a different feel, and that's kind of something we were looking for, being that we had a 2-year-old at the time, and we were planning more children in the future. So we really celebrated that, and we have enjoyed it ever since. Number three, big thing with kids is schools. And historically, let me go back. St. Cloud schools are part of the Osceola County School District. Historically, the schools in St. Cloud perform better than other schools that are in the same district. You also have a sense of going back to this community thing. When you dig in and you find out, like St. Cloud High School, there's just a lot of history there, and there's a lot of pride for the city itself, the town. That's a big thing that we like. It's that small town, again, maybe not as small as it used to be, but it is a little bit of that small town feel. Now, with our experience, we've felt that the schools that we were home zoned for our children have done pretty well with preparing them educationally. They are an elementary school, but we do know people in the district that are teachers at the next level schools that they'll be going to, and we feel like based on what they're sharing with us that those are pretty good schools also. Mind you, there's different programs that are offered in these schools locally that we feel will help prepare our children for things in the future, just, occupational things. One particular high school locally has a veterinarian program where they team up and they help with animals. Even at the level where my children are at now, elementary school, my son was able to participate on a world level at a robotics competition in Dallas, Texas this year, which is really cool. And again, it's molding them and giving them opportunities to see what could be for their future. And also with that school, he was able to participate in an all-state choir. So there's really good programming. Number four, this goes back to my wife, proximity to a beach. So she grew up in Wisconsin. I grew up in Ohio, so we grew up in cold weather environments. Mainly my wife, though, she always had this dream of being somewhere where she could be in a tropical environment and go to the beach. And so that played in a big part in our decision. We didn't want to be on the coast for various reasons, either the East Coast or the West Coast. Going back to pricing, that's a big piece also. But we chose St. Cloud because it wasn't too far of a drive from the beach. The closest beach to us is the Melbourne Beach. It's a 45-minute drive on 192 straight east. So we actually take this trip numerous times in a year, and we make it a day trip with our kids. We have 3 kids. We hop in the car early morning. We're there in about an hour. We can enjoy the time on the beach. We set up our tent, sand castles, the whole 9 yards, dipping your feet in the ocean for a few hours. Then when we're done, we'll catch a quick movie, dinner, and by the time we ride back home, it doesn't feel like we've done a lot of travel, but we've done a lot of things, and it's still early evening. So it's a great day trip for us to feel like we're getting away, and it plays into the fact that we're not that far. So that was a big thing for us, was the proximity to the beach. And elaborating further on that, my 5th and final point, we considered location. So when you're looking at Central Florida in general, Orlando's kind of like the center of that bullseye. But the areas, Kissimmee Kissimmee, when you look on a map, is west of St. Cloud, and it borders. So if you want to get there, it's not too far. The turnpike for us is a lifesaver because even though we're in St. Cloud, it doesn't feel like you're too far away from other things in Central Florida because you can just hop on the turnpike and you're within, a 30-mile radius of a lot of things, and it doesn't feel like you're hitting a ton of traffic because you're on a highway road. So Lake Nona is a hot area to locals and to people that are moving. It has a medical facility, a medical school from UCF that was placed there years ago, and so that's a big attraction. And because of that, there are really good medical personnel that have come to the area to live close. There's Nemours Children's Hospital, which is renowned here in this area. It's one of the best, if not the best, hospital for children. There's a vets hospital there, military. So it's a hot spot. A lot of people want to move there. My point being that you're not too far from there. You're not paying the taxes, but you're not too far. So a lot of people that want the Lake Nona lifestyle, they are moving to the northern part of St. Cloud. Also, we talked about the beach. So, location-wise, let me give you a few drive times. Airport is a key place that you would maybe drive to. So 20 minutes, give or take, is what we figure for airport travel. Downtown Orlando, you're looking at about 30 to 35 minutes. If you want upscale shopping malls, there's the mall at Millenia. That's a 25-minute drive, give or take. If you want to go touristy, 25 to 30 minutes will get you to Disney or Universal. And then talking about UCF, which I'm an alum, go Knights. UCF, their main campus is about 45 minutes away. And then there's a lot of jobs that people wind up having to travel to within the Maitland, Altamont Springs area. And that drive is about a 45-minute drive. So, depending on what you need to do, the point is that St. Cloud, it gives you that getaway feel to a certain extent, but it doesn't make you feel like you're just lost and you can't get to other areas in Central Florida. Those were our 5 main reasons why we chose to move to St. Cloud. But having been in the real estate game for a while now and having some of my clients choose St. Cloud, I'd like to kind of share 2 bonus reasons with you why St. Cloud is a place that you could consider. Bonus reason number 1 is that you have options. If you're looking for homes, you need to have availability, and there's tons of new construction that's going up in the area. If you look at other areas in Orlando, they're kind of out of land. They've kind of already expanded to the max that they could. And areas like St. Cloud are getting a lot of the overflow for all the reasons that I shared earlier, pricing and taxes, but really because of land and availability. So you have a lot of new construction communities that have gone up over the years. The area's growing, and you have a lot of master plan communities that are coming in the future. So there's no shortage of availability. Once you decide, you can plan out and know that you're going to get something in the area to your liking. The second and last bonus I'm going to give you, based on what I've heard feedback from my clients, is just variety. When you check out St. Cloud, you'll see that there's different types of homes and areas that kind of lean into whatever lifestyle that you choose. Let me give you a few examples. There's an area here in St. Cloud called the State Streets, and that particular area is a historical area. Some of the homes, they're more in the 100-year range. Not all of them, but a lot of them. So they have a lot of character. They're not the cookie cutter type builder construction stuff that you see typically. It's a very communal area. There's no HOA in that area, and it's close in proximity to the lakefront, and the lakefront is a big attraction for St. Cloud. The lakefront has a nice walk-around track that they've built, more like a walkway. It has a nice white sand beach that they imported sand 2 years ago, where you can actually play beach volleyball, and you can take your kids and do sand castles. There's a nice restaurant there. You can dock your boat, and there's a splash pad for the kids. So there's just a lot of different things that you can do, and that's right in that area of the state streets. There's also fireworks that take place at the lakefront for 4th of July and different events that the community will put on. So it's a really nice area where there's a lot of things going on. If you're looking for rural, more country living, then you can go south and you find an area that the locals call the Manor. And in this area, you will find lots that are 1 acre, 2 acres, 5 acres. There's plenty of space. It's a different kind of living. You can bring your livestock. The area's zoned agricultural, so a lot of people will have horses or chickens, things like that. So that's another variety type of living that's an option here. The last one that I'll highlight is if you're looking for more of the shopping and being close to stuff, one of the newer areas that's being developed up on Narcoossee, I kind of referenced earlier, but it's North Narcoossee, bordering right on the border of Orange County. And the big reason that that area has taken off in popularity is because of its proximity to Lake Nona, which I talked about is a hot area right now. So if you want to be closer to shops, food, the restaurants that are being built there's just a ton of stuff that's being brought that is attracting a lot of people. And you don't pay, like I said earlier, the taxes of an Orange County. You don't pay the prices of a Lake Nona. So when you talk about variety, you have different places within St. Cloud. It's not just your normal tiny town anymore, but at the same time, it reserves a little bit more of a laid-back feel compared to other areas. So, I hope that this video helped you. As I stated earlier, it was really difficult, and it is difficult when you move to another area and you don't have a resource. And so a big part of why I'm making this channel is so that I can offer you videos like this and just giving you insights on the market and the local area to be a main resource for you, or one of your resources. So if you're interested in finding out more, if you need somebody to work with you here on a local level, I would love to. My information is down below in the description. Feel free to reach out. Feel free to ask questions. If you felt like this video was helpful, please feel free to like and subscribe. It'll go a long ways to help my channel out and my endeavors, but also it'll keep you informed on new content that I'm putting out. I appreciate you guys, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Thanks for watching, and take care.